Hi guys, this is GSMDome.com and I'm here with the Motorola Edge 60 Fusion for an unboxing. We're dealing here with a mid-range phone which has a very rugged body and a familiar camera. I'm talking about a 50 megapixel shooter with a Sony Lytia sensor we've seen on the predecessor as well. Now, there's plenty of extra AI here, something we haven't seen on Motorola phones recently. And of course, productivity and a beautiful color with the blessing from Pantone. So let's get it going. The official price tag should be around 350 euros in Europe, and we have here the version with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. Let's fire it up. Since it's an edge model, we have a curved edge on the sides, even though there have been some edges without a curved edge and with a flat screen. Not the case here. It's got a MediaTek processor, it's the MediaTek Dimensity 7300, even though there are versions with 7400 of this handset. Okay, so Motorola Edge 60 Fusion, no charger in the box. But what we do get in the box are the following accessories. So there's a case with the same color as the phone, a sort of Amazonian green or something like it. It's more of a bumper case. We have a cable going from USB-C to USB-C. We have a key used to access the slots. And also we have here this bunch of stickers from the European Union with the energy indicator, battery life, resilience, ease of repair, battery cycles and IP certification. Of course, manual and instructions are all here as well. Now, if you're wondering about the SAR value of the phone, it's below 1 watt per kilogram for the head and around 1.22 watts per kilogram for the body. The SAR value for the limbs is actually a bit higher, 2.71 watts per kilogram. Now, as far as the design is concerned, we have faux leather at the back side, leather imitation, we have a plastic frame here and a screen with Gorilla Glass 7i protection, which is something I've seen before on other Motorola handsets. We have very narrow bezels, that's for sure, and if you want measurements, it's something like 7.95 millimeters in thickness, and the weight is 177 grams, which is quite impressive because it's quite a little for a mid-range phone with such a pretty large diagonal, I would have to say. Now, aside from that, the design here involves a quad curved approach. As you can see, it's curved on all four corners and quite immersive thanks to that. We have a pretty small punch hole for the selfie camera at the top of the screen and a pretty well-built phone. How well built is it? Well, suffice to say we have military standard certification 810H. It's resilient to harsh environments, minus 20 degrees Celsius, plus 60 degrees Celsius, up to 95% humidity. It can take drops from up to 1.22 meters height, and it's certified for IP69 and IP68, which means you can submerge it in water up to 1.5 meters for half an hour, fresh water of course, and even blast it with powerful jets of water. It's grippy, it's pretty okay built, and it's narrow, which helps definitely with the grip and use with a single hand. As far as the display is concerned here, well, we're dealing with a 6.67 incher, although on some markets you're getting a 6.7 incher. It's a plastic OLED, HDR10 Plus support, 10-bit, 120Hz refresh rate, and a huge brightness of 4500 nits. You can already tell it's a pretty bright panel. And aside from that, it has a Full HD Plus resolution, 2712 over 1220 pixels. Almost forgot to mention the colors we have here. So there is a gray, green, as well as a Mykonos sort of hue, which is supposed to be sort of pink. Actually, that's the Zephyr pink and the Mykonos blue. So yeah, there's that. Let's actually see what hue we have here. So we have here the Amazonite blue version with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage of the Motorola Edge 60 Fusion. Okay, we're done with the display, we're done with the design. I think we can talk about the innards of the phone, and I'm referring to the processor. As I said before, there are two versions of this phone. One of them has the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 and the other one has the 7400. It's a 4nm octa-core chip, and it's accompanied in the current case by 8 gigs of RAM, LPDDR4X, just so you know, and 256 gigabytes of storage. I actually removed the SIM tray from here, didn't find any evidence there's a micro SD card support, so yeah, you're only stuck with 256. The battery also has two different versions. We have here the version that comes with, let's see, a capacity of 5200 mAh in spite of what it says here. There's also a version with 5500. The good thing is that it charges very fast, 68 watts. In about 8 minutes you should be enough juice, you should get enough juice for about 1 day of usage. So 68 watts, 5200 mAh. In the fun stuff part, you get stereo speakers, one's the earpiece here and one's the bottom speaker, and aside from that you have 2 microphones on board. Now I should probably also mention this is a 5G phone which also has Wi-Fi 6 connectivity, NFC, GPS. There is an USB-C 2.0 port at the bottom and Bluetooth 5.4. On the sensor side, there's proximity sensor, there's the ambient light, accelerometer, gyroscope, SAR sensor, e-compass, the sensor hub, and finally the in-display fingerprint scanner, which you just saw earlier, and it's quite responsive. On the camera front, there's a 32 megapixel shooter here with 4K capabilities with f2.2 aperture, while the backside, the star of the show, is definitely the main 50 megapixel camera with a Sony Lytia 700C sensor. Now this main camera here provides f1.8 aperture, it has face detection autofocus, it also has ultra pixel technology and a special 2 micron pixel, and of course image stabilization is optical variety here, and we also get something like a Pantone validation for the colors that the main camera produces. This is a Lytia 700C sensor from Sony. You can also find it on the Oppo Find X8, OnePlus 13 Air, Asus ROG Phone 9 Pro, and the H50 series before it, H50 Fusion, Neo, and the regular one. The second camera is a 13 megapixel shooter, ultra wide, f2.2 aperture, 120 degree capture, also autofocus and macro. Then finally we have a 3-in-1 light sensor which helps with basically getting rid of the flicker and achieving better colors in lower light conditions. And finally the flash here. We have 4K 30 frames per second capture, and if you want more info you can definitely check out the camera interface, which hasn't changed very much from the predecessor. You have stuff like panorama, tilt shift, night vision, photo boot, dual capture video, scan, ultra resolution and time-lapse. There's also a pro mode with exposure, ISO, shutter, white balance and focus. You can also take JPEG and RAW capture. Then you have the portrait here with the aperture options with a bunch of well, focal lengths. This is the photo section where you can actually play around with the color profile, set it to auto enhance or natural depending on your needs. And then you have video where you can shoot, as I said before, 4K 30 and even use a special horizon lock for stabilization. And finally slow motion is also part of the package. Okay, I would say that's pretty much it camera wise, but as far as the software is concerned we have quite a bit to discuss. So first things first, what we're running on here is a system that also involves RAM boost. You can add extra RAM if you want to. This is actually, well, Android 15 with 5 years of Android updates, which is pretty cool. And of course there's a lot of tweaks you can apply from the Moto app. You just go to the Moto, do personalize, and you can play with the themes, fonts, icon shapes, colors, lock screen, clock faces, layout, fingerprint animation, and so much more. Then we got your gestures here. You can customize and use them to access features more easily. And then you got your tips to learn what's up with Android 15, Moto Essentials, and more. This is the Moto Secure in a new version 5.0 with a secure folder, with pin pad scramble, with protection from online scammers, and so much more. Then we got the display features like lock screen, attentive and edge lighting, plus the play, the fun area. There's Dolby Atmos for your stereo speakers with quite a few profiles and settings. Spatial audio, smart audio, movie, that's of course custom with 10 channels, extra treble, extra boost, extra voice. If you want those, you can add them definitely. Okay, of course gamers will also get their own tools, so you go to games, to this part here. You have a special toolkit from the side. You can choose performance mode. You can also do recording of your game session. You have do not disturb. You can hide toolkit from this option and so much more. So basically, once you start a game like Asphalt, you're going to see the game time. And these are the options I mentioned before, quite a few of them. And even there's sort of a store, a game store for gamers. That's about it as far as the Moto app is concerned. We also have family space. You can create a profile for the elderly or for the little kid. See him on the map, set some parental controls, and do family management things. That's family space. Of course, there are also games and Moto Unplugged. If you don't like distractions, this is the one for you. You can customize and simply use the phone, the messages, and the camera. Get rid of all the other distractions. Finally, Smart Connect is here, so you can interconnect with your laptop, tablet, and now even with a pair of headphones and a tag and even a wearable. Okay, so you can do app streaming, you can create a mobile desktop environment, You can also have your phone streaming on a PC, use your phone as a webcam, transfer files and sync them, use it as a hotspot, lock your PC with your phone, use a smart clipboard, share the cursor across multiple devices, and use a share hub for connected media. That's only part of the package. I actually saw it in action properly, and you're going to have to be logged into a Motorola account to get the proper benefits. Aside from that, you're also getting Gemini here, but aside from Gemini, we can also do circle to search. I can recognize this icon if I want to. I can recognize a song easily. I can translate what's on the screen. I can keep pressed here to trigger Gemini, ask it questions, have it make projects for me, correct source code, and more. However, there's something new. You can find here this extra bar. It's called Moto AI. It's basically like a secretary for you and has quite a few things. It says good evening, it says good morning, but that's not the core. The core is the things you can do. You can say catch me up, it will summarize notifications. You can say pay attention, and it starts recording, transcribing, and summarizing things. You can say remember this to save screenshots, photos, and text. You can create an image with generative AI, open Moto Game Hub to play a game, record my screen, and more. And also now the app drawer has become interesting. There's a newsfeed integrated in the app drawer, aside from Moto AI, and there's a journal in the app drawer. Recently I started speaking to the microphone here, and it recorded me in audio format, and it also made the summary and translation.
Hi guys, we're here for the meeting to introduce the new Motorola Razr 60 Ultra, which will be a flagship foldable phone, and let's see how the design...
This is just me riffing, and of course there is no Motorola Razr 60 yet, just speculating on it. You have optical character recognition, you can add photos, you can turn voice into text, and you can work with Moto AI only in Portuguese, Spanish, and English for now. There are also special settings for it if you really want to get into it, and you can have it handy at all time with a floating small little icon. So this is the prompt bar option. You can double press the power key to activate it, have it as a floating bubble. These are the smart tabs you're getting. This is the personalization. So basically, it's your very own little secretary. That's Moto AI here. You can catch up on notifications, is probably the best thing about it, or just recording meetings. That's it in a nutshell. This is the rugged and AI-friendly Motorola Edge 60 Fusion, just launched in Europe at around 350 euros. Pay attention to the different versions of CPU, screen size, battery size, but the AI will be the same on all of them. That's it from us. Pretty good first impression. I'm actually liking this color. Promising a camera and a lot of battery life. You're going to see that. And of course, lots of new AI features. That's it from GSMDome.com. Goodbye.